Hey guys, this is Forsaken Reality here with the 16th episode of the RPG tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to be looking to setting up damage and actually dealing damage and setting up a health bar for our AI for now. And we're going to be using interfaces to communicate more easily between the blueprints when hitting and updating the AI health widget. This will allow us to have less dependencies between blueprints, which basically means we won't need to use as many casts, but rather send a message between blueprints using the interface that we create. If you call the interface function, say in your player when you're attacking, then the event will run in whatever blueprint the target is connected to. Each interface function will have a target connected to it. So for example, the AI reference that we have will be plugged into this one. And casting, I don't think that there is really much of a performance difference between casting and using interfaces, but in my opinion, once you set up the interfaces, it definitely looks much cleaner, and they're actually, in my opinion, a little bit easier to use. It's just setting them up initially and getting over the hump of learning what exactly how to use them. Hopefully you'll figure that out in this video. So without further ado, we'll get into that. First, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do. I have a little setup here. Don't mind the spam on the side there. So basically, we're going to set up the health bars, the AI taking damage across all clients, hit reactions, and also when we kill this guy, well, there'll be a hit animation and a ragdoll blended in together. So like the death animation and then ragdoll at a random interval through that after a notify plays. So without further ado, we'll get into setting up that. The main project here. I'm gonna bring this one off screen. Okay. I'll cancel this. First thing we're going to want to do is import some animations because we're going to need some reaction animations and death animations. So we want to open up our Epic's game launcher. And if you don't have this pack, you don't have this one already, it's called Paragon Greystone. It's a free asset on the real marketplace. Comes with a bunch of animations, so you just want to add this to your project. I already have, or actually no, I don't have it in this one, so just add this to my project. And you can go pause the video and install that now. I'm going to pause it while this is adding. I'm not sure how long it'll take. Alright, so now that we have this new asset imported, we can close out of this. And we have our Paragon Greystone. And here somewhere is our animations. So first we want to select this one, scroll down to the very bottom, or yeah, we'll just scroll down to the very bottom and hold shift and click the last one. And let's select every animation in this folder. You want to right click and retarget animation assets. And or actually, we're going to go to the Greystone skeleton. Retarget to another skeleton. So the first thing we're going to need to do is open up our target manager, select humanoid, and save. And our other one should already be set to humanoid. Oh, I need a skeleton. Now you want to retarget to another skeleton. Let's select a UE4 mannequin for your main project, and then hit retarget. This might take a moment, so I'm just going to pause the video just in case. Now that we have that done, our animations should be retargeted to our skeleton. Yep, they look fine. Now I'm going to open up this folder, animations. And in here, I'm going to create a new folder called Sword Animations, because these ones are not when you have a shield. Just going to take them all for now. You can pick through them and delete ones you don't need if you really need to. It's going to take all of these right here, except for... Actually, I'll just take them all for now. And I'll move them to the Sword Animations folder. Don't think I need to do that, no. Save the skeleton. So now we have all these in here. And we'll create a new folder in our Sword Animations called Montages. So we're going to need some montages. And we're going to search for a React. It's going to bring up our 4 hit reaction animations. For now, we're just going to use the forward, the front, the right, and the left. So you want to create an anim montage for all 3 of those. And then select all 3 by click and then control click on each of them. And then you want to put them in your montages folder. You could just drag them up into there if you don't have this set up. I normally set it up like this because I find it easier to find my way through my files. So now we have our React montages. We're going to need a death montage. So I'll search death and create anim montage. Move that to montages, also in the Sword Animations. And for our death montage, or actually I'll wait till we get to that point. So now that we have our animations set up, we are going to create our interface. Yeah. So you want to right click in your blueprints folder, click new folder, and call this interfaces. And in here, I want to go to blueprints and then blueprint interface. And we'll call this BPI for blueprint interface, damage interface. And we'll open this up. And we're going to create 2 functions in here. These are just empty functions that when we call the interface, in different blueprints will have access to them basically, and without casting we can send messages between them pretty much. I'll show you more into that. So they want one function called hit. And this is going to have no inputs for now. And then we're going to create another function. We're going to call this one update health. We're also going to use this damage to update our health. And in here we're going to have one input that's going to be health. And this will be a float. And actually in our hit, we will add a float called damage. I didn't do this in mine, but I think this might allow us to use our damage a little better. Yeah, I'm back. I just did a little bit of testing, and this is a better method of doing this. So we'll keep the damage float in here and the health float in here. And we'll compile that. That's our interface created. So now we want to go to our blueprints and character folder and then open up our character blueprint. And in our melee trace, after we add the damaged actor, a little bit of room here. First we're going to go to class settings and add damage interface. And now we have access to these functions, just like that. So we right click and call hit. So we get the hit function. Okay, so call hit, and it has to be an interface call. Or yeah, this one will work for now. We'll plug this in like this. For some reason this is not showing up properly. Should be an object reference. In a moment I'm going to look into that. Alright, so I found my problem. It's a pretty simple one. You just need to drag out for your damaged enemy reference, because this is what you're going to be sending this specific message to. And you're going to send hit. So this will send it to the AI, because remember in the last video we set the damaged enemy reference to the character that's hit by this trace. So it could be an AI, and it could also be an AI player, because they're both children of the character blueprint. So you plug this in here. And for the damage, we're going to get our holdable reference, item details for that holdable reference. We're going to break that, bring this down, and we're going to drag out and break our SC damage details. And from here we will and also noticed in my test project that the damage details wasn't set, so just in case you don't have that in your details, you want to go to your data folder, structures, and open up your item details. And then here just create a new variable called damage details and call search for the damage details structure that we created. That should allow you to access that. For now, we're just going to plug in the max damage. We'll go through this and set up the critical hit chance and minimum max because it doesn't really like when you use a random float in range, so you get the minimum damage and your maximum damage. You plug this in. This works on a single player game, but in multiplayer, this won't work. It sends a different value to each client for some reason. I need to go through that and figure that out. So for now, we'll just set up this so that the max damage is what we're doing for damage. Set damage, holdable item list. So in the item list, you'd set the damage, which I will do now in a moment once I delete this. I do not like it there. There we go. And for this, we will comment it. Sends a message to the actor that was hit. I will use, actor, character was hit. Here for AI. And the actor must have the damage interface implemented and event hit called in the event graph. It receives the message. So depending on what, if the player or the AI sends is the set as a variable here, it will send the message for the event. And now we'll set up the event just to show you how that works exactly. Spread that out a little bit so it's not so spread out messy there. So now that we have the interface sending messages, we need to receive those messages. So we want to go hit in our event graph, and all the way up here we'll get event hit. And no, that's not what we want. Okay, I removed my interface from here when I was doing some testing, but I'll just add that back quickly. There we go. Now we have this event. If you read the thing, it's a big one, and it's target actor, and this is the target is BPI damage interface, which is our interface we created. So we send this, and just for a test, we will print string and we should be able to hit a player. Hello on the server and client. We don't have the message calling in here, so these are two AI. I'm just gonna actually search for this, open up this, search for this, and gonna duplicate this body material, male body underscore red, and duplicate this one. I'm just going to change these colors to red. And actually, instead of, we could actually just, I'm pretty sure we can just create a material instance. Material instance, UE4, man, chest, logo underscore red. And yeah, there's the body color. Just set it right here like that. So we didn't have to actually create a new material, but it doesn't really matter at this point. And now we will go to our blueprints AI and our attack dummy. We'll open him up. Go to his mesh, and we'll just set the red body. There. So now he's red. Tell him apart from our characters. A little bit. Now we want to open up our master AI. We can close out of the attack dummy. And in here we can delete these two. And we're just going, first of all, we're going to go to class settings and we're going to add our damage interface. So now we have access to this. Now we'll right click and we'll look for our event hit. And then we'll print string and we'll just print the damage this time. We want to go into our blueprints, data tables, our item list. And in our damage details, let's just set our max damage to like 25. And we'll send this one to 50. This for test. I'm just doing this for testing. You can set them to whatever values you want. I'm just going to go into my AI, my attack dummy, my stats, and I'm going to set his health to 100. So I can have a little more life in him when I'm testing. Okay, first off, we're not going to get, this is in our character, we're not going to actually do any damage yet. It's just going to give us a variable for what our damage would be for both our AI. So that's how that would work basically. So we're in our character, in our melee trace, we called the damage interface, and from there we got our reference to our damaged enemy, our enemy being attacked, and we called the hit damage interface, and that sends a message out to whatever this reference is connected to. And if it's if we hit a character, it will run through here on this hit event. That's where it sends the message to, and if it's the AI, it'll send a message to here. Let's name this AI hit event. Now we're going to set up some more with the AI. Delete this for now. We're going to need a few variables in here. For now, we'll just store them here. We need a React montage. And we'll search montage and we'll make this an array. So we have multiple montages to go through. We'll make it 3. And we'll just search for React. Hit front, React. Hit left, React. Hit right. So we'll also need a Boolean variable to check if the AI is dead, so we don't continuously hit them after they're dead and that run an error. This will be a single variable. So first we'll check that. Hold B and click to create a branch. So if the AI is dead, we'll do nothing. If the AI is not dead, we'll play montage. And since the hit event is already replicated by the time it runs through this point of it, because we have it running through the server in the character for our melee trace during our attacks. So by the time it actually gets to this point, it's replicated. So we won't need to create a replicated version of this, but plug the mesh in. So that's a skeleton, and for the montage to play, we will get our React montage. And montages, because there's multiple. We'll drag out of this and get the length of the montage, so the final number, in this case it's 2, so 0, 1, 2. Arrays start with 0, 1, and then 2 is the final. That's actually a lie. There's actually a null integer right here that's 3. You can't call it or it will actually crash the engine. There's instances that I'll show you later. We don't need to worry about it right now, but there's instances where it'll try to access this variable and we'll need to send the length -1 so it never accesses this. That's usually when we're just searching through an array, not getting the shown length of the array. I'll show you that later on. We don't need to worry about that right now. It's just something that if you ever run into when you're working with arrays, the engine crashing, it could be that issue. So we want to get the length and return an integer. And then we want to get a copy. So this gets a React montage, this will get a random attack montage between 1, 0, and 2. So it'll pick one of these 3, and it will send it to the montage to play. So we're like this, comment it, play, hit, React. Slowly pull our bubble around things as we add new things. And we can test that, and our AI should start dancing. Playing random animations, and my line traces start to blur things out. I'm actually gonna go into my melee trace, disable that. Now we can actually get a nice view of it. Ragdolly. Just taking hit reactions, and that's that. The next thing we're going to want to do is set up damage for the AI itself. So to do that, we will drag out of this montage. Or first look at our stats component. Stats. This is where our health is stored. And then we'll break this, and now we can get access to our health. So we create a variable that's float negative. So this is how we subtract from our to deal damage. This will be specifically where damage is dealt. First, I'm going to, at the beginning of this event hit, I'm going to drag out of this and promote it to a variable. And let's keep that called damage. That's so we don't have to drag all the way over here. So now we can just drag this variable out and plug it in here. So now whatever damage is fed into there, which we are doing right here from our max damage into the hit, it's running through the hit interface and being called right here, sent here. And we want to clamp this, clamp float between 0 and 100. And this just allows us to clamp it for the update widget. I might redo that after thinking about it, but for now it works. We want to get our stats component again. Set member. Oh, we want to get stats. We want to set members in the list, and for the variable we're looking for is health. So now we run that through there, and finally drag out of the play montage and plug this in like that. There we go. Just doing some organizing. Now comment this. Damage AI gets the current health value and reduces by the damage amount sent from the weapon. There we go. Now we have damage. We can damage our AI. But he doesn't have the update health widget, and he's not checking instead. I might set up the health widget in the next video, because this is actually getting a little bit longer than I expected. But will finish a few more things in here for when you kill the AI. So we want to get our stats, so copy this right here, paste, and we want to create a branch, so hold B and click, create a branch, and we want to check if our health is greater than or equal to, or sorry, less than or equal to 0.
So basically, if your health is less than equal to 0, then you're dead. So if it is, we're going to set this dead variable true. So this will now, when we attack, it won't allow us to continue on through this code if the guy is dead, so we won't be able to attack them after they're dead and cause a pending kill error, because we're going to be destroying the actor, and that's what that one causes. So after we set this, we're going to drag out our capsule component. We're instantly going to destroy this. That will block our character trying to walk around after. I'm going to play another montage. It's going to be the death montage. And the skeleton for this one is obviously the mesh for the AI. Story capsule. Set that the AI is dead to prevent attacking the AI after they die. Get rid of these bubbles. And check if the AI's health is less than or equal 0. Determine death. Okay, and play death animation. You just hit, I'm pretty sure I've said this a few times now, but you just hit C to create a comment. I've been doing that a lot. It's just something I don't really think of a lot to say. Not sure if there's anybody that doesn't know that yet, but if you don't, it's a pretty easy one to do. There's a lot of useful things like the branch, a few other ones. There's a lot in the materials as well. So after we play our death animation, we're actually going to want to create a notify in our death animation. And this is going to be a montage notify. And it should be already created there, and it's going to set mine up right here, and this will determine where the ragdoll will begin playing. So when he jumps, he'll ragdoll. And you can change the position, and it'll change the way the character ragdolls. And we want to go back to our AI. And on notify begin, we'll delay for a random float and range between 0 and 0.1. So this will slightly delay when we'll simulate physics, like notify will play, and then it'll put a random slight delay on that. So it'll give it a slight different variation each time. And we'll set all bodies to simulate physics to the mesh. And check the new simulate. Simulate physics after goodbye. There's a couple comments for that, just so they know what they are. We know what they are. And we'll do one more delay after this. And this is we're gonna promote this to a variable. We're gonna name this destroy timer. It's gonna be the time it takes before our AI is destroyed. I'm just gonna set mine to 10 seconds. And then when that completes, we'll destroy the actor. And we also need to destroy this component, I believe. Because we won't see it, but it does stay active if it's not destroyed. Actually, yeah, we don't want to destroy that, so we'll save the component for now. And there's bubbles, and there we go for a event hit. The only thing we're missing from this now is updating our UI, which I'll do in the next video later today. I'm just going to do a print string, display the health. Plug that in after you set the set members in struct, just for testing. And plug that in like that. Or actually, I'm gonna get an append function. Put health and plug that in like that. That'll be a little more informative. I'm not liking that look clean because I'm gonna remove it. So now 50 health, 25, 0. Okay. So that's odd. We go through that now. Alright, so I'm back. I'm not too sure what that... Just fixing this right here. I'm just going to quickly, slowly look through this. I'm not too sure what that issue with the damage was. It just refreshed itself, I'm pretty sure. Because now it seems to print out the damage right here. Maybe it was when I was running it, it just wasn't setting the damage at the moment because it was still doing 4 attacks before I actually killed them. I'm gonna reload my project and see if that helps. There seems to be one more issue with the simulating physics. Some go all wonky. That would be... It actually might be because the master AI doesn't have a mannequin set. So let's try setting a mannequin and set master and a BP there too. See how that goes. No. Doesn't make any sense.
I think I found another issue that it might be. We want to go to our attack dummy, scroll down in our mesh, and want to set our collision to collision enabled query and physics. And we'll do one more test on that. There we go. That was it. So now that we have that done, our AI should be able to die. In the next video, we will set up our health bars. This video went on a little bit longer than I expected. I would have set that up in here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you ran into any problems, I'm more than willing to help with that. Also, if you join my Discord chat, it might even be a little better. There's also a few helpful people in there who are willing to help if I happen to be away. So it could be a good idea to join there and collaborate with people. Who knows, you might meet. It's always good to meet new developers. That's one of the main reasons I'm actually doing these videos. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you.